Listen here in the Free Think Zone. I got my main man, the Traveling Moor is in the building. The Traveling Moor, Sabir Bey. Sabir, what's up, bro?
What's going on, Jeff?
Man, I got to tell you, interesting times. Any other time you'd be on a plane somewhere on the continent. I would too. But this COVID-19 has us at home.
I ain't going to let that stop me, family. They ain't stopping me. I ain't let that stop me, bro. I'm going to go. I definitely got to go after what I went through.
Where are you going next, Sabir?
Can't tell nobody, man.
I mean,
you'll just see me when I get there.
That's right. Right now, you're in the Free Think Zone, and I got to say, it's really good to see you. It's good to hang out. And for those of you who may not be familiar with what's going on, I got Sabir Bey, the Traveling Moor. He is in the building right now. Live.
Virtual building, too.
The virtual building.
Building.
We are coming at you from parts unknown.
Yes, sir.
So let me hit you with the trigger alert, everybody. This is a show that triggers people because you've entered a free think zone. If you're not willing to be exposed to other points of view, tune out now and don't read the comments. You have been warned. It's
say that one more time for them, man.
Okay, this is a show that triggers people because you've entered a free think zone. If you're not willing to be exposed to other points of view, tune out now, like they say down south, right now, and don't read the comments. You have been warned. Sabir Bey, parts unknown. Welcome, bro. Last time I saw you, I think you were in Andalusia.
Andalusia, yes, sir.
And a lot of folks may not be familiar with Andalusia because they want to hear Spain, but they don't know that Spain is in Africa.
Yes, sir.
Is that a fact?
That's a fact, bro. And actually, we just did a video. How many parts we did? We did a part. We did
We got 2 parts in.
We got 2 parts in, man. Y'all got to get this. You got to get this piece, yo. 2 parts in. Brother Jeff, like I told him, he can be the new Vlad. I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all. All the money and all the stuff that y'all gave, brother. Matter of fact, cut me my check also.
There you go.
This ain't free.
No doubt.
The interview that we did wasn't free, so I want Jeff to cut me my check.
There you go. The check is cut.
The check is cut. But I told brother Jeff that
and pull that mic right to in front.
Yeah, man. Let's pull this mic up a little closer, man. Because I don't want nobody to get no crazy ideas, think I'm going to do it for free.
There you go.
But anyway, I respect my brother Jeff, man, and I said to him when he called me up and he said, let's do some little clips of this interview about your trip. And I said, yo, let's do it, man, because honestly, you could be the next Vlad, brother.
Well,
go ahead.
Well, I'm telling you, the information that you're putting out is valuable. And I'm not sure if individuals understand the importance of someone that's not only checking, double checking, and rechecking. You know what I mean? You just don't go off on of what somebody told you.
No.
You got to study to show yourself approved, and you get in there, you do the research, but not only do you do the research in the books, you pay to travel to go and see if what we are reading about or what people are saying is actual fact.
Exactly. And it was even when you was interviewing me, brother, I was like trying to remember everything in my head. I left my notes. I was like, oh my God, I got a freestyle off the top of my head about that trip. And again, man, I want to thank you again, brother. Like I said, you could be the next Vlad, brother. You level-headed. You're not with the drama. You straight with the facts. And I almost got intimidated by brother Jeff because I'm like, damn, okay, I'm gonna have to go because I know he travels too. When you have people who literally travel, it's hard to pull something on somebody, bro. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. So I'm like in my head, like, okay, I'm gonna make sure these facts is set up right.
We get it in. Like Sabir, I hear some individuals, they say things like, you don't need a passport to travel. And I'm like, you can't even get inside of an international portion of an international airport without a passport. And I'm trying to figure out how people believe they can travel without a passport, because by the time you even get on the plane, they've checked that passport about 4 or 5 times.
4 or 5 times, baby. And if you get the video, you're going to hear me break all that down. Stop trying to hit me up talking about somebody else. If they got 1,000 to 2,000, we can talk about it. Whatever, G. It is what it is. But let me tell y'all this. You're going to need a passport. And that's 100. You're going to definitely need a passport to move from place to place. But again, I'm going to keep going back to you, brother. Thank you for doing what you did. You know what I mean? And this package that we're putting together, actually, you got to go through brother Jeff. The package is what, $79?
You know what? Let me tell you this: for $79, here's what they're going to get. You know, right now during COVID, folks cannot travel. And, well, there's limited travel right now, but you certainly can't get inside of these large event centers. You know, you're used to doing large lectures, having places packed out. You know what I mean? But, like, right now where we are in different places, you can't get but a handful of people inside of these buildings legally. So what we've done is we've put together an entire seminar where they're going to figure out, you know, what is Amore, how to travel, your travels, how to prepare, how to equip your body, all of that, you know, $79.
$79. So let me explain to y'all.
$79.
And that was kind of cheap right there. I'm like, that's low balling, but we in COVID.
Yeah.
But I spoke about the Moors. I spoke about the health. I spoke about the laws. I spoke about the passport. I spoke about actually the second part, which you would get for the $79, also would be about my trip to Grenada,
right?
And actually in Cordoba also for the $79. So again, Jeff got to get some of his money back.
There you go. So those of you who are interested, you know how to do it. Just hit up Sabir, hit up myself. However you do it, we're going to get the information out. But if you're watching right now, this is like hot off the press. We can get you some information
right now.
And some of you might need some information right now about who we are. Like for example, there's been some myths and some realities as it relates to just what Amore is and what Amore isn't.
Exactly. It's a whole lot of myths, but they got to buy it to get it, you know. We ain't gonna give it to them right now. I know it's a lot of stuff floating around on YouTube and Facebook right about now.
So, you know, if you're looking for some accurate information, this is the way to do it. You know, we were sitting and there was ashes falling down all over. What's going on with these fires, bro?
California's on fire. Cali's on fire right now. I don't know. Cali's on fire. So we getting the ashes, you know.
Like literally, like we are sitting and like ashes are just coming down on us. I'm like, man, this is like folks from Cali say they're used to these fires, but there's been nothing with this type of longevity attached with these flames.
Yeah, I don't even know, brother. I don't know. 2020 has been, honestly, brother, it's been crazy. For me losing my son, you know, a couple of weeks ago, it's been really crazy.
Bro.
Yeah, man, give thanks, man. And I got to keep moving forward. So this is probably going to be the worst year out of my life. I ain't gonna lie to you, you know, 2020, man. But I got to keep pushing because my son will wanted me to keep pushing. But, you know.
Let's talk a little bit about, you know, Marley, Colorado's on fire also.
Yeah, I heard that too.
All these states is like they're going up and these ashes are coming down. You know, it's, you know, prepare yourself.
You got to prepare yourself, bro, you know.
Where before I ask you where you're traveling to first or next, I want to talk about, you know, your travels when you were up in Andalusia, i.e. Spain, and what are some of the places that you were able to visit and a couple of things that you saw?
One of the greatest places, honestly, when I was there was the Alcazar that was in Seville, and also the Alhambra, and the Mosquita in Cordoba. And those are the beautiful places. And I'm going to tell everybody, go there, man, and get there and go to, you know, shoot to North Africa, brother. It's all Africa. It's beautiful, brother. But those places right there are remarkable when you get into Seville and you get into Cordoba and you getting into the Alhambra in Granada. Beautiful places.
What are some of the signature pieces that would indicate that there were Moorish influence?
They got to get the video, man. You can't tell them all of that on here, but they
give
won't
them a
buy the video.
piece,
It's about the fountains. You got to see the Moorish fountains that was up in there, man. The Moorish architect all up in Granada. You know, that's, you know, those was the remarkable spots, man. You know, things that I saw when I was there. You know, and just sitting with the people that was there in Granada. Man, and we're not talking about Arabs. We're talking about people that is darker than dark. That's in Seville, and that's actually in Granada too.
Wow. I mean, this is some powerful history. Again, like $79 you pony up and we'll give you like some incredible presentations.
Yeah, $79, man. Give it brother Jeff, man.
You know, the knowledge is powerful, and there seems to be a thirst for knowledge right now.
Yes.
People are coming up with some powerful scholarship. People are looking into some things. They're wanting to travel. I'm seeing a lot more people getting those passports, bro.
Hey, you better get them, brother, because they're going to stop everybody. Let me say this for everybody. I'm going to say this, man. Because somebody hit me up and asked me about this national, what's that thing called? The National World ID? What's that thing called? The World ID Act, the World whatever the thing. Let me tell you something.
I'm not sure.
It's a card for everybody. If you have a passport, not no Moorish passport, because there is no Moorish passports. Let's kill that. If you have a U.S. passport, use the passport for what it is, for real. That national ID does not supersede the passport. Let's make this clear. That national ID that have coming out is only for your state. It is not international. When you're checking into a hotel overseas, they're not gonna ask you for a state national ID. They're gonna ask you for your passport. Picking up money from Western Union, going into a hotel, they're gonna ask you for a passport. It can be from Senegal, Sudan, Mali, Morocco, wherever it is that you have a passport. That's what they're gonna ask you for. They're not gonna ask you for no Moorish passport, because there is no Moorish passport and no Moorish IDs that you can take overseas and deal with it, okay? Let's keep it real. So,
got some friends that are
the national ID does not supersede a passport. The passport supersedes every document that you may have.
I mean, is that a controversial statement?
No, it's not. It's not. But the thing is, this is just reality. And the problem with it, brother, is a lot of these Moors don't travel. You have to travel to see what I'm talking about. And this is why we had this conversation, you and I, about people who don't travel. It's hard. You know, you can lie to somebody if you never traveled.
Well, you know, it's interesting. Traveling is such an eye opener, and it's so powerful that they will do things to restrict your travel.
Most
like, for
definitely.
example, if you owe back child support, they will not allow you to get a passport.
And that's the problem. And I'm gonna keep it real since you brought this up. A lot of people and a lot of Moors are getting into this information who owe child support, but you have to have a certain amount. It's not this because you owe child support. You have to have, I think it's over 10,000 or something like that dollars. You have to be a certain amount. It's not having child support. You can still have child support and still go. It's the accumulation of the amount of money that you may owe, and that's where they'll restrict you from traveling that way. But
and then also, you know, sometimes if you're still on paper, you know, you've got to get permission to travel, and
no doubt,
all of that,
no doubt.
You know, so you know, freedom to travel is also attached to your freedom in terms of, you know, your legal status, etc.
Yeah, and it's true, and this is the thing. Let me explain this again for people, because I know a lot of people really don't understand how this works. A lot of these Moors that is selling these paperworks for people into people owe child support. And that's the reality. Most get into this information to try to get out of not paying child support. Work it out with your child's mother. Fix it the best way you can. Go down and try to fix it another way, because I'm gonna tell you, the way that they're telling you to do it, it's not cool, and it's not going to work. I'm just getting real with y'all.
Well, I can tell you this: it sounds like if somebody is doing that, that's another way to hustle.
Well, that's what I said. That's the hustle game.
You don't need to hustle in the name of information or, you know, trying to get over, because a lot of that trying to get over is put us in the conditions that we're in today. And as you travel and you see, you know, the impacts and the effects of what has happened to, you know, our people all over the planet, a lot of it is based on somebody trying to get over.
Yeah, but yeah, that is true, and it's very hard, bro. That's why I respect and I thank you, man, for doing what you're doing. And like I said, you the next Vlad, brother. It would be the brother Jeff show.
You know, what else have you been up to? What have you been seeing? I know, again, condolences on your son, but that being said, how have you been taking care of yourself? And then you know, what are you focusing on now? What are you studying? What would you encourage people to pick up and look at?
Well, I'm focusing on my daughter right about now. All this other stuff falls to the wayside. My daughter is the number one priority right about now. But I am working on a book from for my trip over Tunis. I do have a book that's coming out on Tunis, and I'm working on my 2021 calendar. We did the 2019, the 2020. Now we have the 2019 to 2021 calendar coming out of all my photos of my trip. There's only 12 of them, but the Tunisian book of North Africa is which we are putting together now, which is going to be dope, so we can get people to start traveling to Tunis and into Morocco, because all that's part of North Africa.
What we talked about is the night in Tunisia.
Tonight in Tunisia.
Miles Davis,
boy, the night in Tunisia. Y'all should look that up. Night in Tunisia by Miles Davis. Tunis is a beautiful place, man.
Well, you know, when you start talking about arts, you start talking about music. The more you travel, the more you expand. The more you expand your melodic horizons, your artistic expression.
Yeah.
You're able to see the similarities and the connections between, you know, peoples all over the world. And so, you know, a night in Tunisia, and, you know, you listen to some of these artists that were doing some geography lessons to us and for us if we were listening.
Yes, that's the best education, though. The best education is to travel. I believe it was Miles Davis also, when he traveled, and he said he came back from overseas, he said he felt so depressed, and he started getting on drugs. There is a documentary on Netflix about him, man. And when I was looking at it, I was like, yo, he's right. Because when I flew back, I was depressed, but I don't get high. But I felt that.
Do you know, like, let's talk a little bit about your travels and my travels. Do you feel the weightiness of the U.S. on our bodies, our psyches, our ability to just be free as individuals? The moment you land and you step back in it,
it's a weight.
Can you just can you explain, like, the weight? Like,
it's a weight, bro.
We don't even understand. Like, if you don't travel, you don't understand the pressure you're under until you get away from it.
Until you get back here. Every time I don't care if I flew into California coming back. I don't care if I flew into Philadelphia or New York coming back. I can feel that weight on me every time I touch down when I was coming back from overseas. Like, I'm in the airport in D.C., like, I'm ready to get back on the plane. When I flew back before, I'm in D.C., and I said, I'm ready to go back overseas. I felt the weight on me as soon as I got here, and I felt so depressed, man. I was like, yo, this is crazy. I felt more free when I was overseas.
What is it about, you know, this society that has such a disdain for us as a people? Like, is it something that we've done to betray these individuals, or have we not built every institution, created an economy, fought in every war? What is it that puts us in a position to be under constant attack in a society that we've done everything to build and support?
Well, I'm going to say this because they know who we are. Honestly, this is the reality. They know who we are internationally, and they definitely know who we are here. I was just watching something that someone sent me about one of these universities are teaching about how so-called black colleges got started. I said, that's insane, and we're going to go for that? That's not the beginning of my history, slavery. You follow me? So they have universities now teaching how HBCUs got started. So but the missing link in all of this is the history of the Moors that's not being taught. So it's something about us that they know that they can't or won't teach, period, brother. They can't. It's you know, maybe things that we have done, because we enslaved people too, brother. Yeah, I'm talking about Africans or black people or Moors, whatever you want to call yourself there tomorrow. We enslaved Europeans and we enslaved each other. So maybe that's what it is.
Is that a function of humanity, or the lack of humanity in terms of the way we treat one another as it relates to gaining power, getting power, and keeping power?
It could be. You know, it could be, brother, but we have to lead by examples. That's just me. I'm not going to do that. That's not, and we doing the exact same thing with people in this conscious community, brother. It's the same thing. We are pimping people. We selling stuff to people. We selling people dreams. We selling people religion. It's the same scenario, brother, but we got to stop it and break that cycle. We got to stop it. You know,
I mean, in 2020, folks seem to be so very gullible. You know,
ignorance is bliss.
You know how they say a sucker is born every day or every moment. I mean, you know, when somebody is selling you something that you absolutely cannot do anything with, whether it's, you know, paperwork, or whether it's an education, that's put forward, where a lot of folks are going into debt to go to get these degrees at these universities, and they're purchasing something that they absolutely cannot do anything with except work their way out of debt.
Hey, man, like you said, it's a sucker born every minute, brother. I just want people to think and start questioning it, man. I don't know. I don't have the answers for all of that, man. It's just that I can see through the propaganda. I can see through the lies. And honestly, doing this and exposing it will actually bring more enemies.
Well, where'd you get that ability? Like, how were you able to get to the point where you could, see through the propaganda and see through the lies?
I mean, I don't even know, brother. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I just question everything. My mom used to tell us to question everything. The Bible says question everything. That's just how we are. I mean, this is just me. I can't pinpoint where and how that started with me. It's just that I see things and I have to address it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know where it's coming from. Some people call it empath. I don't know, brother. But my thing is I just question everything. I don't know where it's coming from. I
mean, see, when you begin to question everything, this is the beginning of education.
Yes.
In other words, the ability to pull out of you what's inside,
and that's what education means.
To pull forward, to draw forward, like Moses was drawn out of the water.
Exactly. And that's what education truly means. Edu means to draw out what's in you. You are the alchemist. If you sit back long enough and listen to yourself, and there's American civics book that talks about our republic can only work if citizens are willing to think for themselves and not simply accept what others tell them. Our republic can only work if citizens are willing to think for themselves and not simply accept what others tell them.
Well, KRS-One said, ask yourself, why is that? Like that phrase in and of itself, ask yourself, why is that? If you're able to do that around any particular situation or, anything that you're confronted with, that will begin to open up your mind, like for example, it's called critical thinking. Skills, like they will call that a critical thinking, and they'll add skill to it, and that means it's something that you need to practice. You have to have the courage to begin to ask questions, particularly to individuals that will put you in harm's way if you ask particular questions, because they'll see that you're on to their game or their hustle, and then you begin to draw these enemies.
Exactly. It
ain't hard.
It's funny because I'm laughing at my daughter because she's keep calling me on FaceTime. My daughter got a phone now, so she automatically calls me while I'm live. My daughter, she's only 1.5, and she's calling me while I'm live.
Well, everybody in the Free Think Zone hanging out with the Traveling More, Sabir Bey in the building.
Yes, sir, man.
Virtually.
Yes, virtually, man. Listen, get the package, man. Tell them where they can get the package from.
Go to brotherjeff.com, or you can
brotherjeff.com.
You can inbox, you could just in that feed, you can just put Sabir Bey, I need that package. You know what I mean? And we'll make sure we'll figure out a way to, connect with you. We'll get it to you. $79. You're going to get the history of the Moors. You're going to learn about, how to get that passport, how to use that passport, what you can expect when you're traveling to these certain countries, and then also the places to look, because Sabir, sometimes when you're traveling and you're thinking about the way propaganda works, there are people that are employed to show you things that reinforce the same narrative.
You gotta pay for it though.
They will show you. They will show you that same Mickey Mouse stuff. But then, if you go in and you ask the right questions, you might run into the right individual, and you'll come out with a totally different experience.
Totally different. Everywhere I've been, brother, I had to pay these people to go in certain places. You can't even take pictures over there unless you paid certain individuals. That's why I said before, you have to have allies when you travel, and you're going to have to pay these people to get into certain places, even though they will give you the fairy tale. But if you want the real information, you're going to have to pay these people to get into these places. And I was doing that. That's why I always ask people when I was traveling to support and donate to what I was doing. support what I was doing, and again, it's not easy.
What's your Cash App?
My Cash App is $Sabir Bey, $Sabir Bey, or it may say $Sabir Bey Radio at Gmail. $Sabir Bey Radio. It may say that, but it's plain and simple. $Sabir Bey.
You've been having a long history in terms of communication. You've been studying for a long time. What are a couple of books you would recommend individuals to pick up? What should be in that library right now?
Let's pull them up. Where we at, Jeff? Can we? Where's the camera at, brother?
There, they can see you right there.
There it is, right here. These are the two of the books that we should have. 100 Amazing Facts About the Negro. Nature Knows No Color Line by J.A. Rogers. And there's another one also, Slavery in the New World. This is another one.
Wow.
This book would tell you how the Negro replaced the Moors in this book. The Negro, remember we were Negroes.
Right.
Right? But we were Moors before we were called Negroes. And that's called Slavery in the New World.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. That those ashes out there, those. I don't know if anybody deals with allergies.
I do.
But look, Sarah says asking questions does create enemies.
Oh yeah, no, telling the truth will create some enemies, and asking real questions, because you can ask a silly question. You follow me? But if you ask the right question, even amongst people in this conscious community, that draws enemies. And that's just the reality. Like, I don't care who don't like it. I'm going to tell it, be it if it's the nation, the Moors, whoever. The truth got to be told. I don't care what group you belong in.
I don't know who I was talking to the other day, but they told me this term called sheeple.
Sheeple?
Sheeple.
Oh, yeah.
The reason people, don't ask questions because there's been this thing that's been created called sheeple, and people are just sheep. They just sheeple.
Or like America, A means no, mer is Latin, ka means sheep. A means no, mer, Latin, ka, sheep. So it's no mercy for the sheep.
No mercy.
No mercy for the sheep.
No mercy for the sheep.
Because we don't question anything, brother. I know y'all probably say, what the hell Sabir just come from with that one?
Again, Sabir Bey, the traveling Moor, is in the building. For those who are, just maybe tuning in and they hear this term Moor being bantered around, how would you explain, in the short form? You'll give them the long form if they inbox and let us know that they want to come into the training. Just the short form understanding of what a Moor is.
The Moors are anyone, let me make this clear one more again, anyone that's called themselves black, African American, or Negro. Way before the black term, before the African American and Negro term, we were Moors. And it also determines the language at that particular time. So Moors, of any of you African American or black people, has nothing to do with religion. You can be a Moorish Jew and be a Moor, period. Has nothing to do with it. And this is why I said this is one of the best books besides this one to pick up. This great man, J.A. Rogers, who wrote these books.
Remember J.A. Rogers from Superman to Man?
I got that book too. I have all his books. Know Your History, Nature Knows No Color Line, Great Men of Color, 100 Amazing Facts. I got all his books, man.
That level of scholarship gets buried. It gets buried.
It'll make you think. That's why.
It'll make you ask questions.
I don't know nobody else that did any better. I'm going to keep it real with you. Honestly, besides J.A. Rogers, I don't know no other scholar who has put that type of information out there without the internet. And I would love to do a documentary on this man.
Well, I could tell you, Latasha Bell asked about the training. She wants to know when. Let me tell you, Latasha, the training is going to come to you in the form of a link at $79. It is going to be a training that you can watch, you can decipher, and you'll even be able to have access to Sabir to ask specific questions that you might glean from the presentation. Yeah. And so let us know if you want to, if you want this information, and as a matter of fact, in addition to the training in terms of what is Amore, how to travel, what are the things that you can expect when you travel, etc., there's going to be a bonus that's thrown in, an additional bonus that Sabir is going to describe to you and show you and tell you about his travels to Andalusia, which many folks know as Spain. And many folks don't understand that Spain is Africa, in the same way a lot of folks don't know that Egypt is in Africa. And the reason they took it out is because all of those incredible feats of science, math, architecture, et cetera, civilization would dispel the myth that we are somehow inferior.
Exactly. Well, Yemen is part of Africa too.
Of course.
Don't get that twisted either, y'all.
The Middle East of what?
Yeah, I mean the Middle East. It's of Africa. What? It's the opposite side of the Red Sea, which is called Eritrea. Eritrea is the Red Sea, which that separates what you would call Africa in the Middle East. That's Yemen. So we got a lot of work to do, brother. It's a lot of work, and that's why I thank you, brother Jeff, for this, man, because this is just the beginning of what we're going to be doing. So if y'all want that package, give it my brother Jeff. It's $79, and you get a bonus inside there.
Yeah, I mean, that's like what that's the 2-for-1.
That's the 2-for-1. So you can either email brother Jeff, email me at sabirbayradio@gmail.com. Again, sabirbayradio@gmail.com. Brother Jeff will send you the link. Again, it's going to be lit, man.
We're putting it together right now.
He's putting it together right now,
like as we speak. So when you put it in, you're gonna be like one of the first.
Hey, editing is the key to everything.
You know, we got some information for you, and I'd love for you to have it. Helen says she has DNA from Spain, France, Nigeria, and that would be true because the interconnectedness of it all.
Yeah, if you want it, this is the one place that we don't go. We really don't go over to, we don't go to Spain. But most people who go to Spain, they go to Barcelona. That's the tourist section. Most people go to Barcelona for that. And if we never really go into Morocco or Tunis, and if we go to Morocco, people only go to Marrakesh. They only go to Marrakesh, not Fez, not Fez Rabat. You got other spots that's inside, North Africa, besides just the spots that we keep going to.
Do you find folks arguing with you about places you've been that they haven't been, but they're trying to tell you about what's there, but they haven't been there?
Yeah.
And they're telling you what's there, and you're like, I'm like there right now.
Yeah, these black conscious people. He say, well, brother, that's the Arabs over there. I'll be like, the Arabs? What do you mean Arabs? My daughter keep calling me. I got to cut my live off of IG. Y'all just going to see me talk to my daughter real fast. But let me see something. Hold on 1 second, brother Jeff. Let's
watch this.
If my daughter would pick up.
I'm going to watch this.
Hey, boo. I'm doing an interview, IG.
This is that technology.
I'm doing an interview, IG. I'll call you back, my love.
This is that technology.
My daughter has a iPhone now, and she's playing on her iPhone now.
Oh yeah.
So she keep calling me back.
There it is.
But the arguments is always with the so-called conscious people who never travel anywhere, and they want to always argue with you. So it is what it is, man.
I think that we're going to grow, and we're going to be in a more powerful place when we learn how to do more building and less destroying.
Exactly. And that's why I said find peace within yourself, and you'll find peace within the world.
Wow.
Find peace within yourself, and you'll find peace within the world, man. That's it.
Well, I'll tell you, those of you out in the Free Think Zone, the Traveling More, Sabir Bay, if you want more information, if you want to know about where to travel, how you're going to see yourself when you travel, and then have access to direct questions and answers, off of the program, $79.
You're the first person that interviewed me since I've been back.
Yeah.
You were literally the first person that interviewed me about this trip.
Hey, man, and you know what was interesting is we were following and watching all of the different places that you were traveling to, and bro, you were everywhere.
I was I burnt out so much data. It was crazy over there, dude. I burnt out data. I was burning out finances. I was like, I ain't know where it was going to go, how I was going to get it. I was like, how I'm going to get this money. You know, it was an experience, brother. So yeah, it was good though.
And then you jumped over. You was in France. You was in London.
London. I spoke in Manchester. Shout out to my brother Marcel from Manchester. He actually was the one that financed me to come to Manchester and do a lecture there, which it was a packed house and it was dope in Manchester. I was in Marseille. I stayed in London. I stayed in France for like 3 or 4 weeks in Marseille. I was in Toulouse. Shout out to my family that's in Toulouse, Tiffany and them. I stayed in Turkey for like 2 weeks. And it was dope, brother, from bouncing from place to place, man. It was dope.
So when we say the traveling more, you're actually traveling. Like we should put on there the literal traveling more. You like literally like let me show you this passport and show you these stamps.
Oh my God, you see my stamps? I was like, I might need another passport because they stamping everything, G. Boom. And the funny thing is, like I told them what I was doing when I was going through there, I was proclaiming the whole time I was there. The whole time.
Well, you know what's cool is Latasha Bell. She's interested. Latasha, I'm gonna get at you, and we're gonna talk a little offline. I'm gonna work on getting you some information. Smokey Girl says she's tired of debating who she is. Folks need to just stop arguing.
You don't listen. John Henry Clark said this, my sister. I only debate my equals. All others I teach. I'm gonna say this one more time. I only debate my equals. All others I teach. You don't need to debate with them. Just sit. Even the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said this, and I'm going to help them out. You don't have to condemn a dirty glass of water. You sit a clean one up against the dirty glass, which means you put their facts up against their so-called wannabe belief systems. Your facts with their belief systems. There is a difference between belief and facts. Facts can be researched, analyzed, and proven. Facts can be researched, analyzed, and proven. Period. You don't need to argue. I'm not wasting no more time and energy with nobody trying to argue with me, a debate with me. If you want to debate me, I say put up $5,000 if you're really serious about that.
But you know what? I've been seeing you for a long time saying I will debate whomever comes, and you put that out and nobody takes it up.
Nobody takes it up because what happens, people looking for attention. That's why. They just say it for attention. They don't really are sincere like what you did. That was sincere. Because I understand you and I know you are a business person and that's how you are. You know, so with me, they're not going to do that, but they want me to come on and argue with them and get a headache. I already got a bullet in my head and want me to argue with you behind some stuff and waste an hour and a half with you when you're not going to research what I just said. So why would I do that? So I'll make you pay for it.
Well, one of the things that I like that you distinguish between individuals, you need to know the difference between facts, actual facts, and beliefs.
Yeah.
You can believe whatever you want, but that doesn't mean it's a fact. It doesn't mean it's an actual fact. Doesn't mean it's going to get you anywhere. And you say something simple as, you know what, if you want to travel internationally, you're going to need to get a passport.
You're going to definitely need a passport.
And that's not a belief. That's a fact.
Try it. That's all I'm going to tell you to do is go in the airport and try it. Let me tell you the crazy part about this when people say this to me. Well, brother, I got this. I said, go over there. Do you know in Turkey they tell you to have a contingency plan? Which means that you got to get your behind to the U.S. Embassy, not a Moorish embassy, the U.S. Embassy. You got to make your way over there. When I was in Turkey, they would if you ever go look up Turkey and find out, and somebody would say, well, I don't need to go to Turkey. That's the excuse. I just want to let you know that that's what most people's excuses are. Well, I don't need to go to Turkey. I'm just saying, period. You will need a contingency plan to get from A to B because they're not going to come get you from your hotel. You better know people or have another way to get to the U.S. Embassy to get the hell out of where you need to get out of. And that's just the reality. You know, so, again, if you don't have a passport, that'll be what, like a stateless person? We can kidnap you, and you can never be found. Well, never be found because they waiting on somebody like you. And I'm just being real with y'all.
Well, the Traveling More is in the Free Think Zone. Always good to see you, bro.
You too, man.
Just keep on traveling.
No doubt.
You know, they say one trip around the world is equivalent to a PhD.
Really?
One trip.
One trip around the world. So I took like 4 or 5 of them.
One trip around the world is
Did
equivalent.
Y'all hear that? He said one trip around the world is equivalent to a PhD. So maybe I got a PhD.
You got a PhD.
I need some colleges to reach out to me. Then I need some of these kids.
Usually in academia, they're telling you about something that's out there. But when you get to the highest levels, they tell you to go out there and see if it's really out there and come back and tell us what you found.
Wow.
That's at the highest level, though.
I never knew that. See, I don't mind saying I don't know because I didn't even know that.
Yeah, okay. Do you know Hansberry, William Leo Hansberry?
No.
William Leo Hansberry, for those of you, if you take an opportunity to look him up, this was the uncle of Lorraine Hansberry.
Wow.
Some folks might be familiar with Lorraine Hansberry. She wrote the play A Raisin in the Sun. And if you look at that play, A Raisin in the Sun, there was a character from Nigeria. Now, this was a nod and this was a tribute. At that particular time, she was bringing African understanding and characters into the Negro world.
Oh, wow.
And that's why you had this character from Nigeria. Well, actually, her uncle, William Leo Hansberry, was one of the premier scholars on African civilization at the time.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
The reason he never got the PhD is because he had more knowledge than anyone at the time, and there was no one to sit for him to argue for a dissertation.
Wait a minute. That's crazy. You got to send me that. Listen, this is why it was funny, because there was a sister that I was in Harvard. She's from Ethiopia. She wanted me to debate with some people internationally. She was putting this sister named Blaine, and she wanted me to debate with some Harvard professors internationally, not local people, internationally. And I was like, oh, snap. And maybe that's why nobody want to sit with me, because there's nobody I can argue with that traveled.
That's why William Leo Hansberry did not receive a PhD, because there was no one at the time that had the breadth and scope of information that he had relative to the continent that he could argue before.
Wow. I ain't even know that, bro.
That's the level of scholarship we're talking about.
I got to study that one, because I've been to these places about 4 or 5 times already. Man.
So, yeah. Well,
wow. You got to send me that information,
Lorraine
brother.
Hansberry, that's her uncle.
Lorraine Hansberry, uncle. Damn.
And, by the way, the Negroes betrayed him. They betrayed his scholarship.
They betray our people now. That's why I said I got to be very careful.
And it's another story for another time.
Can I share something with you real quick?
Story of betrayal.
You know what Brother Medib told me? The Brother Medib from Tunis? He told me, even Dr. Phil Valentine told me the same thing. A lot of Moors will be mad at you, Sabir. Dr. Phil Valentine called me the ambassador of the Moors, and he said he said make sure your T's are crossed and your I's are dotted, because those Moors and these so-called black conscious people is going to come at you, and I feel it.
It's called betrayal.
Betrayal.
And
my God.
And this is the story that you've been seeing as you've traveled. When you talk about the unraveling of our civilizations, the burying of our information, a lot of that is based on betrayal. And I think they say it in one world about 12 or 7 or 13 pieces of silver.
That's crazy. And I say that all the time.
And then they went and he hung himself before he could even spend it.
Wow. That's our people. They're going to hang themselves. I'm watching the conscious community hang themselves right now. That's why I keep my distance with certain people.
Tracy Groves Adams says she remembers that character and she loves that play. Lorraine Hansberry was one of the great playwrights and one of the great scholars of the time. But you had women like Lorraine Hansberry, Zora Neale Hurston, etc. And the reason their greatness was buried is because of patriarchy. And you had individuals from our community, men who did everything they could to thwart their careers because they were women. Can
I tell you, it's funny because you said about the scholars. I've been called that, but I reject it a lot. But when my son Amir was younger, when he was about 4 or 5, there was a Muslim that used to work in a 7-Eleven. And he was from India. And he used to always say, Mobi Kabachet. Mobi Kabachet. And I'm like, what is a Mobi Kabachet? It meant, he said, a scholar with a child. I didn't know what the heck this dude was saying. Now, my son was 22 when he passed away recently, but this is when he was 4 or 5 when I used to have my son with me. But he would always say, because we would build on history, and he would say Moby Gabachet or something like that. I was like, he said it means a scholar with a child. So my son has always been by my side,
Wow.
you know, as I was doing what I was doing. This is crazy, brother. Wow.
Well, I could tell you your travels and what you're picking up and what you're bringing back. If someone doesn't believe that's worth $79,
Hey, let them drown, brother. It is what it is, man.
I don't know.
Let them
because
drown,
they're
bro.
going to these universities and they're dropping dollars for these credits.
What?
Like-
Golly, I can give a class on it, man. That's crazy. You know, my brother Medib said the same thing, that it would be and this is no offense to anyone. Brother Medib is from Tunis. When I was I believe I was at his family's house when he said this in Tunis. He said a European or a Chinese person will pay me $1,000 an hour just to teach their child what I researched and what I saw. He said Chinese or a white person will pay me that. And I was like, what do you mean, bro? He said, no, I'm telling you what you know more than what a lot of these cats don't know in the States.
Well, like Poor Righteous Teacher said, knowledge is worth more than diamonds.
Trying
When
to
the
tell you.
mind is shining, surprises for God's earth and 85ers.
Yo, he got that rhyme down packed, boy. He said, I ain't trying to be a poor righteous teacher. Shout out to poor righteous teachers, but I ain't trying to be that.
You know, so
Yeah, man.
with that being said, bro, always good to connect with
You
you.
too,
The
family.
Traveling More, $79. You can get not only information of the history of the Moors, how to travel, what you need to do to get prepared to travel, and then there's a bonus of, you know what, here's some background on Andalusia,
Yes.
i.e. Spain, which is Africa.
Spain is Africa. Spain wasn't Spain until 1492.
See?
So
This
you gotta
show
get
alone,
some-
you could just drop some knowledge. Just
Hey.
walk up to somebody and say, did you know Spain is Africa?
You know what? But I was doing that when I was traveling. I literally had lectures everywhere. When I was on the island of Malta, there's a clock in Malta. You can look it up. It's called a Moorish clock in Malta. Malta is an island. I was on that island for 3 days. Malta, where the cops, if they hit you, they go to jail over there. They
Wait,
deal-
the cops, if they hit you,
brother,
they go to jail?
Brother. Listen, I told you I got stories for days with y'all. I did not know how true this was, right? I was in a cab. If you get stuck in Malta and you are walking, the cab will pick you up and take you where you need to go, right? For free, right? That's if you got lost, mind you. So I'm in a cab, and the guy was telling me it's a special unit that comes out that deal with people like that. But he said if a cop hits you, you can Google this information, brother. Look up human rights, not civil rights, human rights in Malta. Human rights attorneys in Malta, right? So I already got a human rights book when I was in Spain. Not a Bible was in my room, but it was a human rights book in my room, right? So I gets to Malta. There's a Moorish clock. Google Moorish clock in Malta, and I took a picture. I did a lecture standing there with a brother that was from Spain, standing in front of the Moorish clock for like a good 30 minutes. I stood there with him. He knew a little bit about the Moors, but not much about the Moors. But when I started asking about the Moors, the human rights violations in the police, they said, oh, they go to jail if they hit you. I said, stop playing. I said, we need this in the States. You know what I mean? And that's what was going down. But yeah, look up the human rights on the island of Malta.
Human rights
You
on
think
the,
I'm lying? Look it up.
No,
Google that.
I already know.
Look it up.
Like Sonny Ali said, Sabir Bey is on point as usual. Before you get out of here, difference between human rights and civil rights. And, you know, there's been always this big push and conversation about civil rights. Talk about human rights versus civil rights.
Human rights are international. Human rights are harming a human being. Civil rights is from discrimination. That is the difference. You pay money. It's a discrimination case. So they're the two difference. Only in America they deal with civil rights. They don't deal with international because here black people or whatever you want to call yourself cannot deal with human rights issues because if you dealt with human rights issues, you will have to bring in nationality now. Nationality. If anyone look up, and I'm going to give you this title, You do not have to believe me. You can share this to any attorney and any politician. Title 18 of the United States Codes, Section D, I believe. Title 18, 1341, I believe it is, of the United States Codes. It will tell you what domestic terrorism is. It is harmful to human life. If you threaten an individual, if you coerce an individual of the United States, it's a human rights violation, not a civil rights violation. Civil rights is only for discrimination. You see, there's a total difference. But if you study the Civil Rights Act, which is an act, it's only for discrimination.
Well, Smokey Girl says she just looked up that Moorish clock, and you're on point.
I told you. That's all you got to do is look it up. You'll see it. Now, if you go to my Instagram, you'll see me standing in front of the Moorish clock in Malta. That is crazy. And my Instagram is Real Sabir Bey. The Instagram is RealSabir Bey. Real Sabir Bey. And being it, it's like, again, we need to do one on Malta too. We can
break down a little bit about Malta.
Malta is an island that's between Spain and it's like Africa. That Moors was on this island for 400 years. Everybody was fighting to get the island of Malta because it's a piece that you can move from Spain and into Africa. But I know you heard of the Knights of Malta.
Yeah.
All of them, right? The conquistadors, the Christians, they were fighting with the Moors. But the language that they speak today on the island of Malta is Sikalo-Arabic. You can look this up on YouTube also. It's called Sikalo-Arabic, which is Sicilian and Arabic. Sikalo-Arabic is between Arabic and Sicilian because Sicily is right there. Literally, bro. It's like I said, it's so much history that was there that was blowing my mind. And when you know who's in Sicily, we are.
Listen, we are everywhere you stop on the planet.
Yes, everywhere. And they'll tell you about the 400 years that the Moors was on that island. They have the most churches on that island too, globally. The most churches on that island. Brother, it's again the photos I have from over Malta, man, is crazy. I took so many photos over there.
Well, I'll tell you this. If you want to get in touch with Sabir Bey, hit a link, send up a smoke signal, clap your hands, twirl, do whatever you got to do. $79, and we're going to give you a presentation. Like what we're talking about right now doesn't even scratch the surface of the workshop that Sabir Bey is going to give you via the link. Because, again, we can't gather in large groups, so we are going to present a link to you where you can get this information and some bonus information, particularly as it relates to Andalusia, i.e. Spain, and his travels to the Alhambra, etc. Where are some of the places that you've traveled?
Let me think. Malta, Seville, Granada, Cordoba, Madrid, Malacca, Barcelona, Tangiers, Marrakesh, Casablanca, Rabat, Fez, Marrakesh, London, France. What else? Portugal.
What was Portugal like?
Dope. You'll see us all in Portugal, brother. Trust me. If you go to Lisbon, and you can look this up also, and I spoke about this, it's a Moorish castle in Portugal. The Moorish castle. I literally walked up that mountain in Portugal, but you will literally see us in those parts of Portugal. It's a beautiful place.
Well, I'll tell you, if you want to get in touch with Sabir Bey, this is the type of professor, this is the type of information that you want. Not putting any other knowledge down, but I'm saying sometimes when you get it from someone who's experienced it as opposed to someone who has read about it and would like to experience it, the difference in quality of education is between night and day, or as far away as the North is from the South.
So can I put PhD on my name?
Yeah, yeah.
So I can put PhD when they ask me when I get on flights.
Yeah.
They ask you what you do. Could I put PhD? I can put PhD on there, y'all.
One trip around the world is equivalent to a PhD.
Okay, so I'm gonna put PhD on that mug.
You got to.
And I got 5 times around the world.
There you go.
But all give thanks, y'all. Hit me up on my Cash App again is $ Sabir Bey. Again, $ Sabir Bey's Cash App. The PayPal is Sabir Bey radio@gmail.com. My Instagram is real Sabir Bey. And get with Brother Jeff for the package deal. It's $79, man. $79.
Roderick Jenkins says, I did some studying in Amsterdam. And the Moorish presence is real.
I was supposed to go, but it was too cold in December and January. It was too cold. That's the next stop.
I've been to Amsterdam as well, Roderick. I've been to Amsterdam. Absolutely, I've been to Amsterdam.
I don't want to go. It's too cold, bro. I was crying in London.
I actually, visited Amsterdam several times, but I also would. There's a flight from where we are to Amsterdam and then into Africa. So I've gone into Africa via Amsterdam, and I've gone in via Germany.
Wow, I need to go there too. They told me to go to Germany, but again, it was the time frame, running out of money.
Yeah,
I need big sponsors, man. Yeah. I was running out of money.
They like to sponsor foolishness.
Well, that's true
and
too.
Misinformation, because with what you're putting out, it could be a threat to what's known as the status quo. All right. So with that being said, the Sabir Bey, the Traveling Moor.
Peace and love,
Appreciate you, bro.
Get the package, yo.
Get that package, $79. Go to brotherjeff.com or just put your information in the link. Show some information or some interest. We're putting the final bells and whistles on it, but trust me, you'll be the first to have it. Keep studying, keep traveling, keep digging, keep shining. You know what I mean?
Shine your light on the world, baby.
Keep rubbing the lamp until something happens.
Like my Umi says, shine your light on the world.
That's right.
Shine your light, baby.
Rub that lamp, you might get 3 wishes.
Give thanks to everybody, man.
Sabir Bey in the Free Think Zone.
Peace.
Everybody, if you go down swinging, just might score a knockout, rumble, young man, woman, and community. Right on, Sabir Bey.
Peace.
Appreciate
Give thanks,
you,
y'all.
brother. Give thanks.
Peace.